Today, I'm going to answer some questions. And the big one is, where have I been the past year? Well, I'm going to tell you. And that starts right now on the Gadget Guru. I had a great pattern. I was posting a new slot machine video almost every day for about 8 months. And then something happened in my life and I had to stop. Well, it's been almost a year and I'm here to post a new video and I'm going to tell you where I've gone. Now, since it's been so long, we're just going to start small. I'm on my old friend, Huff and More Puff. As you know, we need 3 buzzsaws or 6 hats, 10-cent denomination, have $1,000 in the machine, $7.50 per spin. I wasn't sure if this machine had sound or not, so now I'm glad to hear that it does. It's, again, I'm at the Seminole Hard Rock in Tampa, Florida. It's a little loud in here, so I hope you can hear me okay. Okay, I'm going to cut through the suspense. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. Let me tell you what happened. Last July of 2024, I found out I had cancer, and that's bladder cancer, and this is not an easy topic to talk about. But I want to share my experience, and I want to tell you a couple things I did and that you can do if you're ever faced with news like this that can help determine the difference between success and, well, let's say failure. We all want to win this kind of battle. Well, basically, at the sign of my first symptom, and I tell you, I was debating, do I tell you what the symptom is? This is kind of personal, but I'm going to tell you just in case you happen to have something similar. I got up, I went to the bathroom, and I am peeing blood. That's only 3 hats, by the way. So I did something, and this ended up being one of the better decisions that I've made throughout this process. I took a picture of it. Yeah, granted, not glamorous. Took a picture of the toilet bowl, and I emailed it to my doctor. And about an hour later, I was in my car. Oh, look at this. We got the tape measure. And she called me and she asked one question. She goes, I just have to ask, by any chance did you have beets for dinner last night? And I said, no. She goes, okay. My office, 9 a.m., don't eat or drink anything after midnight. You know what that means? She's going to run some tests. Well, let me tell you the first thing that I've learned. And I want to give a shout out to my doctor. Her name is Laurel Hitchcock. She's a concierge doctor. I've been with her, I guess, ever since I've lived in Central Florida, about 8 years or so. In concierge medicine, let me tell you something. It is fantastic. You pay an annual fee, and it's not inexpensive. And what that does, it allows the doctors to have smaller practices, and they get to know their patients. It's pretty much turning the clock back the way that personal physicians used to be in the 1950s or 60s. When you walk in, you don't have the crowded waiting rooms or things like that. You make an appointment, you walk in, they see you quickly, you get in and out. Well, she ran the test, and guess what? It didn't look good. She got me, and this is what was amazing. This is what's great about having a doctor like Dr. Hitchcock. She got me in for an ultrasound that same day. Driving home from the ultrasound, I get a call from me. She says, I don't have great news. There is a mass there. And she had me, she goes, tomorrow I'm getting you in for a CAT scan. Now, I was talking to some friends, and they told me they had some situations they need to get in for some testing. And it took weeks, if not a month or longer, to get in, like a CAT scan or MRI or those types of tests. If you're not in an emergency room, it can take a long time. Well, came in and she called me again. I was on my way home from the test. You expect to get these results days later. She says, I'm going to just give you some good news. I know oh, look at this. Okay, I'm going to get back to the good news in just a moment. Here we go. We have the wheel feature. Boy, it's been so long since I've played this. This is fun. I've been watching a lot of slot machine videos during my downtime. And it looks like we're getting the mega hat feature. Now, if I can remember how to do this, I do it different than other people. I don't count up, I count down. So here we go. Okay, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we have, not too bad, 9 hats to get started. We want lots of respins. Again, just bet $7.50 per spin. The minis at 100. The minors at 500. Majors at 12,000. The grands at 135,000. Okay, we have 2 woods. 3 more spins to go. Oh, we need some respins. Hey, I got $2 so far. We can do better. Okay, 2 more to go. 1 more wood. Come on, let's see if we can get a mansion here. Again, I think if you bet bigger dollars, you have a better chance of getting, the big prize or the mansions. Okay, let's see what the big bad wolf's going to do. Maybe he'll shock us. Again, now with 746 in the machine, we started with 1,000, so we're just $250 down. Okay, that's $45. Not expecting miracles, another $45, and we have $120. So we're still behind. Okay, let's go in and keep going here. And it takes us up to 870, started with 1,000. So she said, I have some good news for you. I figure you could use it now. She goes, the cancer has not spread. She goes, but I'm getting you into a urologist, and she had me into one in just a matter of days. Again, I don't want to get, too personal about it, but the way they check for these types of things, they do a process called the cystoscope. Well, he did it. It was a very brief visit, and he said, we're going to book you for surgery, and just a matter of days, I had a surgery to remove it. The tumor was large. It was 3 centimeters, and it was at a location that was just right near the slit that goes to the kidney. I know, again, I feel really awkward talking about this on a slot machine video, but I just want to tell you how important it is for early detection. Granted, if I would have had that first symptom, and that symptom went away after, a day, if I would have ignored it, well, that tumor could have attached to the bladder, and the results would not have been as good as what they were. So anyway, I will tell you, I thought we were going to get another bus all day. Anyway, during the recovery period on this is about 3 weeks or so. About 2 weeks in, I was just having all kinds of side effects. I was having some problems. I went to the ER twice. The second one, I was in the hospital for 2 nights and 3 days, and there was all kinds of problems with the hospital, communicating with the surgeon who did my surgery. Now, my MD, Dr. Hitchcock, she stopped by every day, checking in. She saw what was going on, and I asked her, I said, this is just so strange that the doctors aren't communicating, that the hospital's not communicating with the surgeon, and they went to do an emergency procedure on me. It was a scary time. I asked her, I said, we're in Orlando. I said, there's a Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville. Is there any chance I could move to them? And she said, let me see what I can do. Well, not too much, $20. And it took a few weeks, I guess about a month or so, and I get a call from the Mayo Clinic. I've been accepted. But the way this works, and again, when you talk about bladder cancer, that has a very high level of recurrence, and you need to get tested once you've had it once, every 90 days. And the test, the cystoscope, is definitely not fun. So the Mayo booked me for an appointment about the time that I would have been due for the cystoscope, which would have been 3 months after the surgery. And everything was clear. And I have to tell you, the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville, Florida, holy smoke, what a difference from the hospitals and the surgery centers I was at. Oh, look at this. Okay, we're going to get into what makes the Mayo Clinic special after this bonus. Okay, let's see if we can do a little bit better. Again, not betting big dollars here. And we have another mega head feature, so we're going to go again, counting down from 9. Okay, here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we got the smallest one. I've said this before. I've had some of my better bonuses on this game starting off with 4. But we need a lot of respins to do that. We need 3 hats to get a respin. So far, we're 0 from 2. That's not good. Okay, now that's better. Okay, you have 2 woods, 3 woods to get started. You had some good landing spots to get some mansions. Okay, that's not good. 2 more to go. Okay, 1 more. Nope. Come on, Okay, 1 more game. We need 3 hats here, or we get 2 right there in the middle. That would be good. Okay, again, we're all woods. Hey, big bad wolf. Again, I'm not expecting anything huge. A 10-cent denomination right there. That is a whopping $32.50. And we have $115. Oh, they played that song. Oh, I missed hearing that. You know, later in future videos that I'll be shooting over the next few hours, we're going to be betting some bigger dollars. Okay, let me tell you what makes Mayo Clinic special. And there's a number of things. First thing, the communication, like when they're setting up appointments, the people you're talking to, they're very patient. They explain things very well. They go through, they read your records. You don't feel like you're a number when you go in there. When I arrived at the facility in Jacksonville, I have to tell you, it was like walking into the Ritz-Carlton as compared to the previous hospital and surgery center that I was at in Orlando. But when I go in and meet with the doctor, and this is what was amazing, you know, my interactions with the surgeon who did my initial surgery, it was very brief. I mean, it was like, boom, you have bladder cancer. Don't schedule an appointment. There was very little discussion. And, you know, you have every question in the world. You wonder what's going on. Is this life-threatening, life-altering? You know, what's going on? When I walked in, the doctor there, oh, and I have to say, the doctors there don't wear white lab coats. They wear suits. It's a very professional environment that is just not intimidating. And there's a stack of files, about 2 inches thick on his desk, and that was my file. And I walked in, he closed the file. He goes, okay, I've read this. I know what's going on. I know what you've been through the past 6 months or so. Oh, you need one more hat there. He closed the file and he looked at me and he goes, now tell me, how are you? And that just sparked a conversation of going through my experiences, the lifestyle, what was it like, the surgery, the side effects, the hospital stay. That conversation was about an hour long. And then, of course, afterwards, you know, you have different tests and they schedule you, like at 12 noon, you're at this place, and at 12:15, you're here. Everything ran like clockwork, and the facilities, as I said, are spectacular. The Department of Urology up there is just one of the, I mean, considering when you walk in there, you are just one of the most difficult times in your life. It was very comforting, very soothing, and just a really, as for that type of situation, as good of an experience. Well, they did the cystoscope. Everything was clear, and they said, okay, we'll see you in 3 months. So go back in 3 months, and this time the answer was not as good. Another tumor had formed. It was much smaller. But they said, okay, we have to do surgery. And he told me right up front, he goes, you know, when you have that type of surgery, you do get chemo, but you're still asleep. They fill your bladder with chemo. It sits there for a certain amount of time. The side effects are minimal. Look at me. I don't have to worry about losing my hair. It's not that type of chemo. The side effects are a little different. They're not awful, but they are there. He says, but after the surgery, he goes, there's going to be 2 things we can do. You're going to have to go through 6 rounds of chemo. He says, because getting new growth back in a 6-month period, you know, since your first surgery, is something that they think is just a warning sign. So we had the surgery. It went well. The recovery was so much easier. I didn't feel like I was rushed out of the hospital after the surgery. The nurses, the doctors, everybody there could not have been nicer. And so they gave me some time to recover at home, and then we started having the conversations. They said, you know, we do have one alternative to the chemo. He goes, I'm not making any guarantees, but we think you qualify for the final stage of a clinical trial. And they told me that it's still going to be 6 treatments. The side effects will be different. It's a different type of injection of what you're getting. And I wish I could tell you more about it, but since the trial is still going on, I can't say the name of it, but I will tell you that I completed the 6. And, my next step is, so I guess what I can say, what's that old saying? And Bob's your uncle. I'm here now. I go back in about 3 weeks for another scope test. And if everything is clear, I continue on the clinical trial. And if not, well, there'll be another surgery. But I have to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good. I hope I look pretty good. But I just want to share the story. So my takeaways from this are, number one, have good communication with your primary MD. It's just, to me, that is just the most important thing. And to me, I'm forward with Dr. Hitchcock in Orlando. Again, it's not Alfred Hitchcock. Boy, it wasn't a scary situation dealing with her. Dealing with her, I thought we were going to get 6 hats in. It's like she was able to get me in for testing very quickly. And it's a whole thing about what people say, early detection. If you have a doctor who listens to you and is familiar with you, the chances of getting through this, unscathed is just much, much higher because they act quickly. And the other thing, if you get a symptom of anything that is just out of the ordinary, discuss it with your doctor. That's all I can say. Anyway, we're not doing too good here. We started with $1,000. We're down at $262. And, I want to go a lower amount on my first time playing just to get back into the swing of things. But also, I want to have time to tell the story. And if I would have put $1,000 in and bet $15 or $25 per spin, that's usually about as high as I go, I would have had to keep feeding the machine. I just wanted to finish the story. But I want to tell you something. I have more videos to come. We have that story on the way. I just wanted to share it with you. If you're not subscribing to my channel. Oh, and I will tell you this. While I was doing a new slot machine video, posting a new one every day for almost a year, I'm not going to go back to that schedule. I want to come in here and have some fun. So the best way, if you subscribe and click the bell, that way you'll be notified when you go into YouTube that I have a new video posted. Anyway, we'll run this down. We'll hit the floor of 0. And then we'll take a break. We'll play something else. We'll raise the stakes and see if we could win some money here. I'm not expecting miracles playing at 750, but you never know. You got to get a bonus in. We got to get some mansions. So now, what did you think of that story? I tell you what, I tormented myself whether or not I should share that type of information with you guys. But, I figure, this happens to people. I consider myself fortunate that I have really good health care. And by the way, it's like, getting into a place like the Mayo Clinic, that has nothing to do with how much money's in your account. If you have something and they think they can help you with, you just have to apply, but you need to have a doctor refer you into there. It's not, just a type of hospital you can just walk in. Okay, now of course, trying different microphone setups. It's been a long time, so we'll see how this works. This is an interesting one. This is the Rode Interview Pro. It's a wireless Pro. It works with the Wireless Pro. It's a wireless microphone. I can walk around with it. And it connects to the Rode Wireless Pro devices. But this way, look at this. Okay, we can do this. I guess I have to go up here. I thought I could just hit the button. Oh, if I didn't get that, I'd be disappointed. Let's shock us and get a bonus. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And don't worry, coming up, putting that story behind me, we're going to start having some fun on the next videos. That's it for now. I'm the Gadget Guru, Andy Parr. Thank you for watching.